Alrighty, so the Democratic Party been quite the party lately. So they came out, as you know, with the $3.5 trillion infrastructure bill that got beat down the fucking back, got watered down, and it went from being something that was pretty good to now they got you a stapler, a tablet that doesn't work, and a pencil. And now they're trying to sell it to you and say this is the best we could do. So after they've done all that, they've kicked out programs like paid leave, free community college, lower drug prices, Medicare covering hearing, dental, and vision. They've done away with all that. The tax cuts or the tax increases on the corporations, on the wealthy, got rid of all that. And after you thought they were done fucking you over, they decide to spit in your eye one last time to include a tax cut for the rich. In the title of this article from Yahoo News, originally reported by the Washington Post, the second biggest program in the Democrat spending plan gives billions to the rich. And once again, it's in the form of a tax cut. Let's get into this. The House is expected to vote this week on President Joe Biden's Build Back Better legislation. The social spending bill includes investment in clean energy and affordable child care, but it also includes a $285 billion tax cut that would almost exclusively benefit high-income households over the next 5 years. The measure would allow households to increase their deduction from state and local taxes from $10,000 to $80,000 through 2026, and then impose a new deduction cap through 2031. It's the second most expensive item in the legislation over the next 5 years, more costly than establishing a paid family and medical leave program, and nearly twice as expensive as funding home medical services for the elderly and disabled, according to an analysis by the Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget. The tax cut would partially reverse a tax hike from President Donald Trump's signature 2017 tax bill that was particularly burdensome to high-income, high-tax states. Before 2017, taxpayers could deduct virtually everything they paid in state and local taxes from their federal taxes, reducing the amount of income that the federal government could tax. The 2017 tax bill limited that deduction to $10,000 per year, creating what is known as the SALT cap. The SALT cap, created in 2017, is due to expire in 2026, after which point there would be no limit on SALT deductions. The new SALT cap provision is revenue neutral over 10 years because it imposes a new SALT cap after the original would have expired, $80,000 for 4 years and then $10,000 in 2031. Over the next 5 years, raising the SALT cap would provide a tax cut only to those who itemize their taxes and pay more than $10,000 in state and local taxes, a group overwhelmingly made up of the wealthy. A recent analysis from the Tax Policy Center says the tax cut will benefit primarily the top 10% of income earners, with almost nothing following or flowing to middle and lower income families. Anything you do to eliminate the SALT cap is going to be regressive, because that tax is overwhelmingly paid by higher income people, said Howard Gleckman at the Tax Policy Center. Anything you do to lower that tax doesn't matter for most people. The rich are poised to gain more from the SALT cap increase than lower income people are from elements of the bill, such as the child tax credit. According to the CRFB, a household in DC making $1 million a year would benefit 10 times as much from the SALT cap as a middle-class household would from extending the increased child tax credit for 1 year, which would provide an extra $1,600 for children under 6 and an extra $1,000 for older children. And I just want to read you one final statistic before I let this go. The Tax Policy Center reports that about 70% of the benefit of the bill would go to the top 5% of earners in the United States, those making $366,000 a year or more. That's because, according to Watson, many middle income earners no longer use a SALT deduction at all. That's absolutely amazing. So, as I alluded to before, they want to spit in your eye one final time and rub it in by including a tax cut for the rich. This is disgusting. I don't know how else to describe this. You know, if these types of decisions didn't have ramifications that were deleterious to real people, it would be hilarious, because it's like we're living in a dystopia. This is dystopian shit. I mean, you ask for paid medical leave, they say no. You ask for lower drug prices, no. You asked for Medicare to cover hearing, dental, and vision. No. Well, what are you going to give us? Let's do tax cuts for the rich. And you know what's funny? And David Sirota has been doing amazing reporting on this. These tax cuts for the rich, they help a lot of Democratic politicians. So people in the House, of course, people as well in the Senate. This repeal on the SALT tax would help them out. And in some of their cases, they won't vote for the bill unless this SALT tax is included, I'm sure. That's one of their things. Like, hey, I need the SALT tax, man. Look, man, if we're gonna give the people an extra year of the child tax credits, we're gonna need the SALT tax. And isn't it amazing there? So people making over $1 million benefit 10 times as much as regular working families benefit from the child tax credits. This is absolutely amazing, man. I mean, if you don't think taxes should be raised on the wealthiest people in this country, something is fundamentally wrong with you. You need to do a reevaluation of your life because, I mean, they're just making off with the dough. The Rand Corporation published a report not too long ago where they calculated from the middle 1970s up until now, the 1% has stolen $50 trillion from the bottom 90%. And if the distribution of wealth had remained constant from the middle of the 1970s, every single American in this country would be $1,144 richer every single month up until this point. It's grotesque what's happening right now. It's obscene, as that article laid out. This tax cut is the second most expensive provision in the bill. It costs more than paid family and medical leave. It costs more than, I'm sure, other things that I'm just blanking on at the moment. This is who the Democratic Party has become. Captured by corporations and the rich. No longer what they were. I mean, it's a surprise. I'm just pointing it out. No longer, I mean, and we already knew this. No longer what they were in the heyday and glory days of Mr. FDR, Lyndon B. Johnson. Anybody in any particular sense that considers themselves a progressive, that is no longer the Democratic Party. And they're their biggest enemy. They beat themselves. They really do. Donald Trump's 2017 tax cut bill was a giveaway to the rich and to corporations. That's essentially what it was. The Democrats, by way of doing this, are signing on to that. And they're also giving Republicans the ammo to be able to say, hey, look at what they're doing. They're passing tax cuts for the rich. They don't care about you. Now, of course, the Republicans don't either, but it's free ammunition. And why not use it? And they are. And this is why they'll continue to lose. This is absolutely terrible behavior. It's obscene. It's disgusting. It's grotesque. There's not really much else to say about it.